Stage 14 of the Giro D'Italia was set to be a special one, a final opportunity on paper for the sprinters before the mountains of the final week approached. And with Pinarello celebrating 50 years since a first Grand Tour win on their bikes, there was a festive atmosphere at the start. The start in Treviso, home of Pinarello, the home of the Giro D'Italia, as it made its way across Friuli, Venezia Giulia, in all the way to Slovenia. Yes, a finish in Nova Gorica, the Slovenian side of the town of Gorizia, once separated by the Iron Curtain, now a beautiful borderless area, with the Giro crisscrossing that region in and out of Italy, back into Slovenia several times on a finishing circuit. In terms of elevation, hardly anything, just a couple of climbs along the way. One of the easier, more simple stages in terms of elevation at this Giro. With the flag waved, we wondered what kind of start we'd get. It turned out to be quite aggressive. Several teams and riders trying to get away. An early move included Wout van Aert and Kasper Asgreen. Once that was brought back 20 kilometers later, Asgreen went again. Mirko Maestri would go with him. And three other riders would bridge: Marcelluzzi, Davi and Meintjes. They'd build an advantage, and the peloton would finally be happy with it. Not everybody was, though. Taco van der Hoorn had been trying to get there around a marché. Louis Meintjes saved for the mountains, and the break was down to 4. But they weren't taking any chances behind. Both Alpecin de Koning and Visma Leasebike wanted to set up Groves and Coy. The rain was coming down too. Only 1.5 minutes was the maximum time they were given. Janssens and Kruijswijk had to have several chats about the pace on. And when it came to the intermediate sprints, they were fought out by the breakaway. Behind, though, there was the unusual thing of Dries de Bont out sprinting Mas Pedersen for the final point. That almost started a bit of a thing afterwards. They kissed and made up, however, as the rain yet again started to fall. Still over 100 kilometers to go, hardly any change in the gap. This was well controlled. At the second intermediate sprint, it would be Marcelluzzi who'd win, and after Maestri had taken the first. And once again, you had the other battle. It was a pink party on the way to Slovenia. The rain had stopped, 50 kilometers remained, and just over a minute was the gap. The first passage into the home of Roglic, Tratnik, Govekar and the rest. Pogačar obviously not here. You wondered if he was on the roadside. At the top of Goniace, Slovenian flags flew. Roglic was well positioned. The GC teams were taking no chances with descents coming up. Certainly as the rain, for the umpteenth time on the day, hit the ground. Break were down to 3 as Davi had been dropped. And on the circuits, this happened. Crashes, problems. The biggest affected, seemingly, Giulio Ciccone, after Mas Pedersen had got back on his bike. Ciccone looked like he was about to leave the race, but eventually got back on his own bike. The split, however, had caused problems for a lot of GC riders. As ever, the Maglia Rosa was in it, but others weren't. Roglic, Ayuso, Bernal, all out the back. They were travelling. Tiberi was affected even more, and that would become more apparent. 3 left in the break, had 20 seconds when they went over the line. The bell rung. Could those in the chase do it? In the front, 2 main sprinters. Groves had made it into the group, and Coy. It was their teams who were looking to try and challenge for the win. Behind, it was about trying to get and limit GC time loss. Tiberi a further minute back. And then a scary moment for the Maglia Rosa. What a save that was. All that mountain biking, cross and bike handling ability on show from Isaac Del Toro. Still 20 seconds for the breakaway. Pellizzari was sacrificing himself behind to try and get Roglic back in front of his own fans. Tiberi was still trailing by almost 2 minutes. The Ayuso and Roglic group was at 45 seconds from Del Toro. And then 6Ks to go. Jesper Askren launched his move from the breakaway. Just 14 seconds with 3.5 kilometers to go. Still the same gap with 2.5 to go. And they were running out of bodies behind to chase it down. Jesper Askren already a winner of a stage on a flat day in the Tour. On this day, it looked like it wasn't possible. A man who's at his best when there's chaos in the road. The legs are tiring. Today they were screaming at him, and he pulled off a magnificent Giro D'Italia stage win. Those sprinters in the bunch sprinted away for second and third. Groves getting the better of Coy. Aular finishing in fourth. Isaac Del Toro, Richard Carapaz coming in this group. Paul Rubio there as well. Simon Yates also gaining time. Delight for EF Education Easy Post. Their second stage win of the race. And behind Roglic, Bernal and company, alongside Juan Ayuso, losing time. They lose 48 seconds on the Maglia Rosa. The headlines on the day, though, going the way of Jesper Askren. That was the top 10 on the day. The Dane bringing home an EF education, teaching everyone else a lesson. The sprinters beaten and, well, the GC changed again. The time gaps as if it were a mountain stage. Simon Yates now up to second. Isaac Del Toro leads by well over a minute. Can anybody budge him? Well, the first of the big mountain stages is upon us, and Isaac Del Toro could well be tested. Monte Grappa, but coming earlier in the stage. A mighty climb, well over 20 kilometers long. And the final stage of the second week also has a Red Bull sprint halfway up the final climb for a finish in Asiago. It's a long one too, 219 kilometers. You can watch it as the fight for the Maglia Rosa intensifies on TNT Sports.